So are you shy and new to dating? Here are 5 tips to conquer your first date. In case you don't know who I am, my name is Danny, and I'm a life and self-esteem coach that works with gay and bisexual men in all matters of love and self-esteem. So if you are tuning in to this episode, to this video, it is because you are struggling when it comes to dating. Maybe it's your first time going on a date. Maybe it's your first time putting yourself out there after an extended period of time. Whatever the case may be, I got you on this. So or maybe you wouldn't be, but I think you'd be shocked to find out how many guys actually really struggle with first dates and feeling comfortable on a first date and really what to do, right? It can be kind of an awkward situation and awkward interaction, depending on the vibes and the connection and the chemistry and all of those things, right? And I also think that unfortunately, technology has resulted in us living in a far more disconnected society where everybody is hyper individualistic and kind of always hides behind their phone as a way to protect themselves from uncomfortable feelings. So dating has gotten a little bit more complex. It's gotten a little bit more difficult over the years, but that doesn't mean that it's impossible. And it doesn't mean that you still cannot have an amazing time and connect with somebody on an emotional, mental, spiritual, physical level. So what is the first thing that you want to, what's the first tip, right, when conquering your first date? Just remember that they picked you. They chose to go on a date with you. And even if you're the one that asked them, they still agreed to go. That's a positive. That means that there is something in you. That means that there was a connection that you guys shared. That means that there was a quality about you that they are interested in. So right off the bat, you're already winning. It can be so easy to allow ourselves to fall into this mental place of like, I'm not good enough, or this date's going to go to shit because I don't know what I'm doing, and maybe we don't really have a connection, or maybe they're just whatever it is that you have going on in your mind. It's going to be really important that you are able to control that voice. Easier said than done, I get it, but they chose you. They picked you. They want to get to know you more. So you already are starting off strong, right? The second thing here is pick a few open-ended questions to ask prior to the date. If you are somebody who feels the need to prepare for the date, if you are somebody who feels like you need to have a little bit more ammunition going into the date, no, not literally ammunition, and that's probably not a good word to use considering that things are kind of crazy in the world right now and there are trigger words and all of that stuff, and YouTube will probably now cancel me for using that word, but you know what I mean. If you need some what word do I use now? Let's just put it this way. If you need to be prepared for the date, just have some questions ready to go, right? Open-ended questions. This is the best way to ensure that you're able to keep the conversation going and that there is a flow. And whenever there is maybe an awkward period of silence or you're feeling a little bit uncomfortable, just pull it out of your back pocket and ask the question, because the most important thing to keep in mind here is you want to focus on engagement. Engagement is key. Right? Now, don't misinterpret that, right? Because engagement doesn't mean that you have to be speaking 24/7 the entire time that you're on the date. No, like anything else, there needs to be balance. There's got to be an ebb and a flow. There's got to be an inhale and exhale. So there are going to be periods on that date where maybe you're not talking as much, or maybe there's a moment of silence, and that's totally okay. I'm saying reserve the open-ended questions for when it's obviously awkward and quiet and there really doesn't seem to be much to talk about. The third thing here is the bathroom is your friend. A lot of people don't take the bathroom into consideration. And what I mean by that is if you are feeling uncomfortable, if you feel like things are getting a little bit awkward, if you're needing to kind of recompose yourself or like try to figure out how you can navigate this date, take a bathroom break. Let the person know that you need to use the restroom and you'll be right back, and take that time to reground yourself, to compose yourself, to maybe think of some new questions that you can ask, to evaluate how you're feeling about the date. Put a little water on your face, clean yourself off, like just do anything to bring yourself back to center and to refocus. So many people will just kind of like sit there and grit and bear it and just like not take a step back, right? Or not remove themselves from the environment. The bathroom is your friend. Use it to your advantage. The fourth thing here is, again, silence is normal for a first date. You're not going to be talking the entire time. And if you are talking the entire time, you run the risk of driving your date crazy. Take breaths, take moments, take beats, right? Just like anything else in life. Now, if that silence is incredibly long and it goes on for like minutes, then I probably would be like, the date's maybe not going as well as you would want it to. And that's when you can utilize either the bathroom or pulling out the open-ended question. Because at the end of the day, they might be really nervous too. I think it's so easy for us to make it about ourselves and say, oh my God, what am I doing wrong? What have I done? Or maybe I'm a really boring date, or maybe I'm not entertaining enough. But at the end of the day, they may also be nervous. They may also be a little socially awkward. They may also not necessarily know how to navigate the first date. But the beauty is, you do, because you watch this video and you have the tips that you need in order to make it the best date possible. The fifth thing here is be authentic. Just be yourself. There's no need for you to be fake. There's no need for you to put on a mask or a facade or whatever. I say that knowing that, of course, when you're going on a first date, there is going to be this wall that's up, right? In the sense that you're observing, you're gauging, you're analyzing the situation, you're taking in as much data as you possibly can, and that's normal. That's fine. That's going to happen. But make sure that you're not doing it in such a way that you are putting on a completely different character, a completely different mask. You are acting so far outside of yourself that you're not comfortable in that situation. Because look, what ends up happening is, let's say you put on a mask and you put on this character and you pretend to be this kind of person, and the date that you're on ends up liking that version of you. Well, guess what? You just screwed yourself, because you're going to have to keep that going if you want to keep that person. Now, that's not to say that they're not going to get to know and fall in love with other facets of your personality. No, that is also a very real possibility. What I am saying is, don't pretend to be somebody else, because then you're going to have to try to keep that going for a long time. And what if, when you finally show your real self, that's not the person that they fell in love with, or they were attracted to, or they liked? So just be you. You don't have to be anybody else. And at the end of the day, if they don't connect with the real you, fine. You dodged a bullet. You saved a lot of time, and that gives you the opportunity to regroup and try again with somebody who's going to appreciate you for who you are as a person. The last thing here is pick an activity for a date then. If you're nervous about how the date is going to go, I think it's so common for people to pick the same type of dates. Dinner and a movie, drinks and dinner, drinks. And I get it, right? You're wanting to be in an intimate environment. You're wanting to really get to know this person, but at the same time, you run the risk of it being awkward and uncomfortable if you're not good at dating, if it's been a while since you've been on a first date. So a safeguard against this is to pick an activity for a date, right? Maybe you guys go on a hike. Maybe you guys go to the beach. Maybe you guys go horseback riding. Maybe you guys go rock climbing. Maybe you guys just do whatever it may be. Maybe you go to a theme park and you ride roller coasters, or whatever it is. At least there is some kind of external stimulus that can help distract if things get a little bit awkward or weird, right? It also gets to show another side of your personality, the fun side, the adventurous side. And when you have that excitement going on the date, it can really help you to kind of let your guard down, drop those walls, and really just authentically show who you are as a person, which to me helps you guys to connect on a much deeper level, much faster. So again, plan a date with some kind of activity. It is the best safety net that you can use if you're worried about an awkward date. I hope you guys found these tips to be helpful. Leave me a comment. Let me know if you have any tips that you've utilized. Let me know if you thought this was completely useless. I don't care. Just leave me a comment. I love to have conversations with you guys and connect with you guys, because at the end of the day, that is what it is all about. I'm having a stroke. That is what it is all about. Got it. Please make sure you're liking and subscribing, and I will provide you with all the information that you need in the description down below of my other social media platforms. I would really appreciate it if you went and gave those a follow as well. Hope you're having an amazing day, and I'll see you in the next video.